Where it's like, TV shows, video games. Some people with video games, they're very completionist. I go and beat the game, but a lot of games are multiplayer and whatnot.
Hmm.
There's not really a completionist ideal to it. But anime, that seems to be the general consensus. Everyone's like, I've watched this series. And it's like when you say you watch, let's say, a popular American TV show like Lost. I watch Lost, right? People don't mean
Yeah.
that they've seen every single episode from season 1 to season six or however many there were.
Some people do. It's
Some
kind of
some people
crazy.
do, but like I
A
mean,
lot of
a
fanatics.
lot of people like okay, American Idol is a great example. I don't think like I would say like only like 2 or 3% of people who watch American Idol have actually seen every single episode from beginning to end of every season. That just doesn't seem likely. And so
Well, it's because anime you actually have to watch it through to get
yeah, the full
well,
story.
maybe not Naruto, but it's a full story. It's not like it's like a movie without an end until like I don't know, 60 hours later.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that makes sense. So I mean, but there's that whole attitude. So it's an interesting different one. And so yeah, I'm obsessed with it. I have a whole list. I know exactly what order I say like my anime is. Like it's an exact order. Like I don't there's no
Hmm.
fuzzy boards, but at the same time when I look at it, I could switch like a lot of anime, like 20 or 30 slots up or down easily, and it wouldn't make that much of a difference. So except for maybe my top 10. Like my top 10 I think about like all the time like is this better? Is this better? When I'm in my head. So it's obsessively TikTok. And I actually just changed 2 or 3 series in my top 10 within the last week, and I haven't updated the site or anything with it. So, ooh, it's the same 10 though. It's just moved around a bit.
Oh.
Yeah, exciting.
It matters.
I know.
Okay.
Yeah, and actually, yeah. So I don't know. I'm obsessive like that. But yeah, is there any particular shows you watch? So that I'm gonna ask aren't your favorite? I'm not asking for, but for some reason they are meaningful to you. Like you watched them with a friend and it was an amazing experience. You finished it and it was like the first series you cried for, whatever it may be. Any series like
Actually,
that?
I don't have a lot of friends who are into anime. Almost all my friends are into watching sports and all that stuff.
How exciting.
So, yeah. So I have like no one to talk to. Um, Almost. I have a couple friends. Anyway, I can't really say much for like the animes that I really, really liked because almost everything I've watched, I've really, really liked. I'm not sure why or for some reason or not.
Because you're not a reviewer. That's why.
Oh, that's probably why.
When you're a reviewer,
I've
you have this horrible urge to watch everything because you're like, it could be good. I need to make sure that I'm telling people if this is good or not. And then you watch a lot of crap. It sucks. Uh,
what I do is I actually go research the anime for a day or so, maybe less, and then I spend the next couple of days or I plan a couple of days to actually finish the anime. Like Full Metal Alchemist, I finished in 2 days.
wow, that's
Yeah, I
pretty
need to watch
hardcore.
Brotherhood.
My biggest marathon, like I'm not good at marathoning anime. But my biggest marathon was actually a series called Kaiji, and it was 26 episodes. I managed to finish it in 3 days. That's my fastest I've ever gone. So
That's not bad actually. I've heard worse. Like it took someone I believe a month to watch Elfen Lied,
oh
I
wow,
think.
13 episode.
That's terrible.
I think one of my longest one that like I was actually consistently watching was Cowboy Bebop. That took me a month, and that was because that series for me, each episode was so self-contained that I'd finish an episode, I'm like, I can't watch the next episode. Like that was enough for me. And it wasn't so much they're bad or good or anything like that. It just always felt like I watched a mini movie each time, and I'm like, I don't really want to watch the next one yet. And so I'd always wait like a day, and so it took me a whole
Yeah.
month to get through a 26 episode series. Um, but yeah, but then there's other series that I've taken years to watch, like, but it's just because I stall, come back to it, stall, come back to it, whatnot.
Hmm.
And yeah, a lot of series. I have a list of about 200 drop series, but they're not really dropped. I just sort of started watching them, and I'm like, I'm not really feeling this one right now, but I'll come back to it. And so I
Yeah.
do that a lot. Like even some of my, I'd say about 3 or 4 of my top 10 series, even those I dropped at one point and came back to. Serial Experiments Lane is one, and Torador is another. And so it's not about quality for me for dropping. It's just about I'm not in the mood to watch this right now. I'll come back to it when I hear someone talk about it again and say how amazing it is. I'm like, oh yeah, that sounds amazing. I get so easily hyped up by other people when someone just hardcore like sits down with me and just says you've got to watch the series. I'm like, yeah, I've got to watch that series, and then I go and watch it.
So you liked Serial Experiments
Yeah,
Lane?
it's my number three right now.
Yeah, I'm just looking. I actually haven't finished Death Note because I had this weird conception, or I don't know, premonition that it was like Naruto or One Piece or Bleach, and it would be like hundreds and hundreds of
Oh,
episodes because of all the like fan people and everything. No, it's like 26, isn't it?
it's 37 total, but yeah.
37? Okay, that's not bad. But Serial Experiments Lane, I actually didn't hear about it until my friend introduced it to me this year, and he handed it to me, and I was like, oh, and it's actually pretty good. I liked it.
Yeah, I obviously I liked it considering it's my number three anime, and my background on my computer right now is a Lane wallpaper. So I really like that series. Yeah, yeah. With Death Note, I don't think I can talk to you anymore. I can't believe you haven't finished Death Note. But
Yeah, I'm sorry.
no, I've gone to conversations with people who don't like Death Note, who do and whatnot. But to me, Death Note, yeah, it's just my personal favorite. I know there's a bunch of flaws with it, but it's gone to the point where I even love the flaws. Like I am so happy to see the flaws. I'm like, I know you're flawed, but I love you so much. Like it
That's
just
a little creepy.
I
Just a little
just
bit.
I don't know. It's well, you know how it's when people they talk about you have a relationship with someone, but then you learn to love their flaws. Like you like
Oh yeah,
the
okay.
flawed things about them. And the same with Death Note for me. No other series I hate their flaws. Get out, be good.
Oh,
But Death Note, it's
that's
just
that's
I have
kind of
watched it probably 3 or 4 times through the whole thing, and then another 5 or 6 times through just the beginning episodes because those are the best. And yeah, I love it every single time, and just I love introducing people to it. It's just a fantastic series for me, and it's not for everyone. Like I know it's not the perfect series. If I had to say like a perfect series to introduce anyone, it's probably Full Metal Alchemist. It's one of those series that almost anyone can like. Um,
hmm
but I don't personally love Full Metal Alchemist that much, so I actually don't recommend it that often. Um, but I'm watching. Are you watching Brotherhood, the remake
I
of?
was going to watch Brotherhood, but then I watched a couple of the first episodes. I got up to episode 20 so or 20 or so.
Mhm.
And it's really, really like tiring to watch the same thing over again
I will say
for
though,
Full Metal
it it
Alchemist.
it changes to a completely different storyline by episode 15. So by episode 15 is all new material after that. So I mean, if you can
hmm
get past that hump, so I had a 3 year gap between watching the original and Brotherhood, so it didn't bother me that much to watch the first 15. But I am absolutely loving it now. Like it's at the third last episode right now, just came out today, and it's phenomenal. So
Oh, really?
yeah,
Huh. I was watching it on Adult Swim. Pardon me. I get bored at night.
that's fine.
And let's see. Believe they're with the metal guy, and I don't know I couldn't follow the story that well. It was really confusing because I haven't been watching. I think it was on episode 30 or so.
The metal guy. I am not sure what that
I don't know.
first
It's
came from.
some random guy who used to be a serial killer. He was the guy who was the serial killer, and he was reincarnated or whatever you want to call him. His soul was put into pseudo armor, like Ed's or no, it's not Ed.
Oh, yeah, I know who you're talking
Uh,
about now. Yeah, when they were like trying to infiltrate these laboratories and stuff. Yeah, that's about
yeah, the
middle of the
butcher
series.
guy.
Yeah, so we're gonna have to move this along because
Yeah,
for the
running
first
out of
time ever,
time.
I'm actually running out of time. Usually I have to make time, but like, so all right. So this is my fun odd questions here. Um, so do you think anime as a whole has changed your life in any way, taught you anything interesting like that?
I feel like you can learn a little bit about every other anime or so, except for animes like Bo 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 or something like that. I forget what it
Yeah,
was. It's
that's correct.
these really random animes you just watch because it's fun. But anyway, no, I feel like stories like Serial Experiments Lane and all that stuff, where they have the whole thing about like technology is like taking over your mind and whatnot, and it's bad. No, it's not that bad. It's just that it's I don't know.
It's revealing it to you. It's showing you that these
It's
things are there.
revealing. Yeah, exactly. Things that you wouldn't normally think about, or even things that you would think about, it shows you a different light on it sometimes.
Hmm.
So I feel like anime does that.
Yeah, I feel like I totally agree with you. I feel like anime is one of the only movies do this too. I'm not denying that movies do this, but anime, a lot of the best anime, the anime that people really talk about, do have these insane themes, these ideas, and they're just not shown in like. to be like, let's do a fair comparison to American television. Like, you're not going to see a philosophical American TV show. It just doesn't happen.
Yeah.
So
It's not gonna happen because that's not what the
yeah,
people want.
it's so it's just like, but with anime, you even some of the mediocre ones have something interesting about them, have some thing that they're trying to say. Where it's like, even the best American television shows like American Idol, uh, yeah, not much to say except that people can sing. Good job.
Or can't sing.
Yeah, or can't sing.
That's the best part. I mean,
I know people, I know some people who explicitly watch only the auditions and then quit for American Idol. But yeah, I do totally agree with you there. I think that definitely my favorite anime are about, that like have philosophical undertones to them.